The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for supporting our channel by watching and listening.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Theme song is gonna play or not. I don't want to have it playing in the background, and I don't even know. So let's check and see if the Trench Talk theme is gonna play this week. There it is. You tuned into the Farron Dozier Show on mbradio.us, Trench Talk Edition, and Live Tour Sports. Catch me here Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Pacific Time, only on mbradio.us. How'd I do? Was that a good take? That might work. All right, good evening. Welcome to the Farron Dozier Show on KCAA Radio, 106.5 FM, 1050 AM. Also streaming from the KCAA Radio.com website and mbradio.us. We got to bless the show before we get started. Let's go. When I was in my mother's womb, I had a calling on my life to do something in the glory of God and marry it like a wife. Commit myself to his word and never be led astray. And when it's all over, when he comes, I'll be glad to see that day in the morning time. All right, welcome to an episode of the Farron Dozier Show on the Military Broadcast Radio Network. That's right, MBR Radio. I pray that this thing works out today. This is what happens when you do live broadcasts. Anything can happen. I tried my best to get these headphones going, but they are not willing to work today. So I pray that the feedback is cool for you on your end. Again, thanks for listening in. Always, we have a very spectacular show for you right here on Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Pacific Time. Make sure you catch me on Tuesdays at KCA Radio. That's right, KCA Radio, 106.5 FM and 1050 AM for just another version of the Farron Dozier Show, the variety show as well. So you can catch me over there Tuesdays at 6 p.m. on the AM FM channel, and we stream as well over there. Let's see what's going on. It is Wednesday. I had a show last night. Joseph was on the radio. He's actually running for governor for California as an independent. So he and I had a really good conversation just about the things that he cares about, veterans, a lot of veteran issues, a lot of veteran topics, but really the family dynamic as well, right? And I'm an advocate for that. I truly believe that if you can meet people where they are and practice giving up your opinion about other people, there could be a whole different shift in our conversations in the world today. But you also got to give your opinion about yourself first. And that's the work I had to figure out. I had a lot of opinions about Farron all the way back to 2 years old. I can remember making up a story about my mom at 2 years old, right? And so imagine living from those emotional fractures as we talk about living, avoiding shame, embarrassment, and disappointment, right? Can you imagine living the first 40 years of your life discovering that you've been living avoiding shame, embarrassment, and disappointment? I did. And that transition out of the military, that collapse from sickle cell trait exertion with rhabdo, that was all where it started from, and living in that suicide ideation of life is over. I'm not good enough. I'm not worth it. All the I'm nots that I was dealing with, and then able to do some work around that and still be here in front of you today. And this broadcast network, MB Radio, is dedicated to our veterans, brothers and sisters, first responders, their family members. So if you want to support, you want to have a conversation, just hit us up here. That QR code up there, you can scan that and send some donations. They pay for all of the platforms. We do give donations as well as the broadcasters, but this station pretty much takes care of all of the streaming platforms. So we're live right now on Roku TV, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, all over the place, right? And then it streams afterwards in archives on all your major platforms that you can get your podcast from. So we are very grateful for them giving veterans a voice. They say that every 65 minutes, a veteran brother and sister commits or completes their life, right? And so we do our best to help our brothers and sisters figure out what's next, find their way, find their voice. And like I said, in the same journey that I've been through myself the last 16 years, been retired now 13 years. And so just being able to figure out my own what's next, finding radio. I've been doing this for 16 years. So I treat it like it's the very first time. So you still might see some mistakes and some stuff like that. I don't have it all figured out either. Right. So we just come here to have a good time. What I discovered for myself is, I was trained in the military that civilians are not going to understand me. And I was 19 years old, and I had that drilled into my brain, into my subconscious mind, that civilians will not understand you. I'm here to tell you, after all these years of peeling these layers off, I don't understand Farron. So then why would I put that pressure on you to understand me when I don't understand me, right? So then I had to figure out at what measure, what percentage do I understand Farron? And I'm pretty good. I'm about, today, probably about 70, 80% I can understand why I behaved the way I behaved all those years, why I did what I did, why I do what I do, why I act like I act. I got a lot of it figured out right now. But the most important thing that I saw was the relatedness. And sometimes if we can just have a relatedness conversation, then you could really talk about anything on the planet, right? And so that's why I do these conversations. I reach out to people to be guests here so that we can share this relatedness conversation. I discovered that it doesn't matter what race, skin color, background, male, female, we're not different. We got the same worries. We got the same concerns. We got the same thoughts. We get the same circumstances pretty much. And it just depends on how your environment taught you how to respond or the language that you choose to describe your world. There's nothing wrong with that. And so being able to understand that for myself, give up my opinions about myself, forgive myself for a lot of those childhood decisions that I made up about my parents, that I was abandoned and my dad didn't love me. I come to find out that that was not the truth. It was my truth, but it wasn't the truth. And so when you look outside in the world today, there's a lot of things going on in social media. There's a lot of conversations, a lot of things about men and women and all these conversations. I notice a lot of conversations are mixed. You have people sharing biblical context with worldly mindsets, and they don't mix. You can't have a spiritual conversation with a carnal mindset. You're not gonna understand that in the soul. The soul wants to, but your soul has a lot of other stuff going on. Like I said, living, avoiding shame, embarrassment, disappointment, perception patterns, memory patterns, action patterns, all stored from our childhood, bits and pieces. So hopefully today you get a chance to hear something for yourself. I've got quite a few people here on the deck today. We usually hang out about 90 minutes. So we're going to get right into it and share what we're here to talk about today. Let me see. I did want to play a song. Let me see who I got over here. Let me see if I got. Where is he at? I don't see it. Oh, let's try this one. Oh yeah, we're gonna play this one right here. We're gonna play this and play a PSA and then come back and get the show started right here on the Farron Dozier Show, the Military Broadcast Radio Network. Shout out to West County.
In Carolina, dancing on the sand. She's a star that's slipping through my hands, like the ones that fell on Alabama. She's red, white, and blue. Red, white, and blue. She's my kind of girl, 'cause she's red, white, and blue.
Do you remember studying sickle cell in biology class? What's the Count on sickle cell trait prevention is here to bring you awareness, education, and prevention conversations around the risk factors of this inherited gene. Visit wdconsct.org.
Muchos de nosotros nos vemos afectados por la enfermedad de células falciformes a diario y un número creciente simplemente no nos damos cuenta. Los impactos de esta enfermedad afectan a todas las personas y en especialmente a las personas de color y con antecedentes diversos. Estar en servicio conmigo y con los demás a medida que creamos una mayor conciencia sobre cómo identificar y dirigir el tratamiento de los rasgos de células falciformes y ayudar a las familias a saber cómo superar el trastorno de células falciformes.
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm blessed, my brother.
I'm good, man. I'm good. Hey, did you see the game last night?
Oh, that was a good game.
But did you see the shot?
I lost money from that shot.
Oh, man, that shot was cold,
I
man.
hated it, but it was good. Damn. What's in those jeans?
You really want to know?
I do.
Exhaustion, muscle spasms, asthmatic issues, unexpected sickle cell trait crises.
Damn. Are you serious? When I was young, I found out I had sickle cell trait. My mom's told me, but I ain't have no knowledge of it. But when I got older, I had a child, and the doctor told me my daughter has sickle cell trait. Do you know the facts that both parents have sickle cell trait? There's a 50% chance the child may have the trait, and 25% chance the child may have the disease.
Hey, that's What's the Count. Do you know that 2.5 million people in the United States have sickle cell trait, 300 million people globally? I didn't find out I had sickle cell trait until I was in the Army 10 years. Next thing you know, I had a sickle cell trait exertion site.
Sickle cell? I thought that was a black gene or something.
Nah, man, the Latin community is number 2. 1 out of 36,000 babies are being born with sickle cell disease. You could be Caucasian, Mediterranean, European. You gotta know your bloodline, man. There is an inherited gene in our community that has been forgotten. The name is sickle cell trait. WDCONSCT, also known as What's the Count, is out to bring awareness, education, and prevention to people all over the globe. Want more information? Call us now at 323-215-5384 or visit www.wdconsct.org. All right, welcome back to the Farron Dozier Show. I'm going to bring up DRock first. He was the one that helped me put this conversation together today, man. Let me see where you at, bro. What's up, man?
What up, what up, what up?
How you be?
Man, I can't call it.
All right, man. Thanks for coming together with me, man, and putting this show together, designing it, bringing the people together, man. What was in your mind when you wanted to have this type of discussion today?
Basically, man, what I've learned, we both ride bikes, we both in clubs, and I just wanted to bring back like what's been missing on the motorcycle set, like the perception of like what it is to be on a motorcycle set. People, they got lost in like what it is now and what it was designed to be. And me personally, man, I just like to ride my bike. Like all this positioning and jockeying about titles and stuff like that, like that takes the fun out of it, like the politicking and stuff like that. I understand there's politics and everything, but why do we spend so much time doing it? I said, back in the day when people was coming back from war, this is what they did to like, wind down to keep that unity that they had when they was in the military. This is how they bond. Like when you can't get the police in your neighborhood, you got a motorcycle club that come through. They was like parents, like to your kids. Like a lot of the motorcycle members were people that they looked up to and stuff like that. But I think all of that got lost. And to be honest, like I was just talking to OG Blockhead yesterday, And I was telling him that I really like what Dahuru do every year, because they have this event. It's called a kids sneaker ball, and like they bring the kids out there and let the kids have fun. Because when we go to these motorcycle sets, we take away from the kids. And he made a good point yesterday that I didn't even like realize myself. Like, your kids see you put on this cut, they see you walk out that door, they see you come back, but they don't understand what you put into this. But what I seen from Dahuru is what they put back into the kids, and I love that. So I really don't have that much to say. I just invited the heavy hitters that I knew, and I just want to sit back and see what they got to say. It's always a learning moment when I get to talk to Blockhead. I get to talk to, I call him OG Blockhead. OG Blockhead. Dazzlin from Bling Devas. When I can't figure it out, if I can't get you, them the two I call, man. I'm gonna let them take the show, man. I'm just here to
I appreciate, man. And again, it goes back. You said some key points that I hope people are listening. For some reason, man, when we get these titles, there's a power trip. There's a power, and it's not. I don't think it's always a negative conversation or a context. I look at it sometimes like there's pressure that comes with titles too, right? But what people don't understand is if you already dealing with something or lacking something within yourself, and you need that cut or you need that position to make you feel some type of way, I believe that's kind of where it gets the water gets muddy, man, and people lose themselves. And again, I could see, I've been the president of my company, club before, and so just looking at that, for going from secretary to vice president to president, there was a shift change, right? A level of responsibility change, and so I could see why people could lose sight of that, of themselves, with the pressures of the position as well. So what do you think about that?
Well, me personally, I like I said, I come from the old school. I like to talk to the OGs who did it before me. You remember when we came up, like they say, it take a village to raise a child. Now you can't even touch nobody child. You can't speak to them. You ain't my mama. You ain't my daddy. Them type of kids, I don't even hang around, because I be wanting to move furniture and stuff like that, and I can't move furniture with other people's kids. But right. I think people get lost in the titles, because I came from an era where the OG used to tell me, when you get a title, you're not a member anymore. You become a servant. Like, you're there to serve your club. Your club ain't there to serve you. And he always told me the president is the greatest servant of all. And like, I got to the point, I've been the president of a club for 24 years, like 2 different clubs, but 24 years. I'm to the point I enjoy like being a regular member. I still get the calls or whatever, but I get the calls because of the respect and what the foundation that I laid out for myself. But I invited TQ, who started the Nevada Thunder Guards, and he gave me the opportunity to be his VP when he opened it up. I've been hitting him up on his line all day. He in class, but he said he's gonna come on here. But I told him, man, you need to get your flowers, because if it weren't for you, I wouldn't be here. Right. No disrespect, but OG Blockhead, he was lobbying for me too. And I love Dahuru, man. Man, turn it over to them, man. I'm here to I'm just here to listen.
I got it. I got you. All right, we're gonna bring up one of our main guests today, Shannon. How you doing, Shannon?
Hi, good evening.
How are you?
I'm amazing. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I've been, I'd say, a long-time listener, sometimes caller. And, I met you a couple years ago when DRock asked if I would get involved in the suicide awareness and prevention ride here in Las Vegas. I met DRock like back before COVID. I met him before that, but we kind of got involved in serving our community together around Juneteenth. And, I didn't really know anything about Juneteenth. I really never heard anything about any of that. And so I got a really amazing education from my good friend and somebody that I respect, DRock. I've never been a veteran. However, my kids' dad was a Marine for 21 years. My oldest son served as a 4-time combat vet and came back, pretty squirrely. And he's been out now for a little over a decade, and he's doing amazing. And so those veterans with catastrophic injuries that, they lost their legs, those, it's easy for you to say, let's help them. But those veterans with the unseen injuries like traumatic brain and PTSD, I know that firsthand with my oldest son. And so I never served in the military, but I serve our military through doing things for veterans and food insecurity and homelessness and outreach and those things. So thank you for your service. Thank you for all of our veterans that provide us the freedom to be out there on the road doing, Harley shit, riding bikes. That's what I love to do with DRock. We've carved some miles out. We've got some plans to do some really special rides together. I'm recovering from a knee replacement, so I'm down like 4 flats on a caddy right now. I can't get but my whole aura right now is to do whatever I can to get back on a motorcycle. There are a couple times that we've crossed state lines together, and we're looking forward to doing this ride that we've planned. We're not going to.
2 years ago.
No spoiler. Well, I did invite you to go on that 48 state ride with me in 11 days, but I think you was busy or something, writing like your 4th book or something.
And it was a bad experience, so I'm glad I didn't share that bad moment with you. We're gonna keep it like we got
it. We would have come across the finish line together if I had to guess it.
Right. All right, DRock, man, I'm gonna drop you down in the waiting room, DRock, man. I'm gonna have a conversation with her real quick, and then we'll bring everybody up to finish this off. Where you at right here. All right, Shannon, I just want to give the listeners an opportunity to kind of hear who you are, some background. So who is Shannon growing up as a little girl? Who is Shannon? Give us some background. Let's go back a little bit.
I was the oldest son of 2 sons my dad never had. I grew up in a real small farming community, Welton, Arizona, outside of Yuma, population of 999. Yahoo! But I just never knew what, the difference between girls' things and boys' things. And so I grew up under the hood of a car. My dad built the house we grew up in. So I fished, hunted, repaired lawnmowers, all of those things. I never rode motorcycles. I'm a late bloomer. I was 47 before I even knew how to turn a motorcycle on, because my dad built like midget race cars and sand buggies and that kind of stuff. But I was bossy back then. I'm bossy now.
Yeah.
But I loved girls. I really loved being around my species. I like to, do just girly stuff. I was never really a tomboy, even though I got to do, tomboy stuff. I still like cheerleading and dancing and, all those things, which I think has been the success to Bling Devas Motorcycle Club. Is, we have a very successful nation with women that like women and riding with women. And I say it's a drama-free club. I don't say it's conflict-free because, conflict is healthy. It's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
But women that are able to respect other women and like to see other women successful. I really like that. And we hug our own lane. We don't try to do men's stuff or get involved in big boy politics or anything like that. And we've been around for about 13 years. Just a soft place to land. The club started, my daughter and I went and learned to ride motorcycles together, and she's my little mini me. And some of your past shows talking about struggles between um, your reality as a parent and
Yes.
what your children experienced. My daughter's going to be 35 on Saturday, and I'm so proud of her. She's just passed 1,000 days sober from alcohol. She's going to come up on her 3 years, and I think that right now I'm really falling back in love with my daughter. She's my youngest. You know, you hear parents say, "I raised all my kids the same." We're all raised in the household the same. But it's just not true. You're in a different place in your life, your relationship, financially, mentally. I
Right.
was exhausted raising kids by the time she came along. Um, and her sobriety means everything to her, and her emotions are real, and she's processing her past, and she's learning how to have healthy boundaries while we're both processing. She was raised in a environment of trauma.
Yeah.
I was the victim of domestic violence, and my kids watched that. And you know, I can't defend or explain the impact of how it affected her, but I can acknowledge it.
Right.
And without the guilt, because I've been living in guilt for years, and she and I are just now, I think we're headed towards the best years of our life. And I'm, really looking forward to it. And I appreciate that you bring up those topics, your own experiences as a child and how it shapes us as adults. It's real and it's
Yeah.
powerful.
Yeah. Thank you. You know, we've had some talks before about the men MC clubs and the women MC clubs, and we did a couple episodes not too long ago about that. What's your perspective or interpretation of that relationship when it comes to the different MCs of the men and women?
So I'll open it up by saying, with great respect to my big brothers, I mean, we're a standalone club. We're not a support club. We never have been. We go where people are happy to see us, and we'll roll out any place that people are not happy to see us. And the East Coast and West Coast, there are some differences, even at the 1%er level, of how they handle social clubs and how they handle women MCs. We are a women MC. We rock an MC cube. We don't claim territory. Our bottom rocker says, "Bling it on." However, we have been blessed by clubs that like what we do, and what we do is ride motorcycles. Everyone in the of our club, they ride between 10 and 25,000 miles a year.
Wow.
We are ground pounders. I was just out in Vietnam riding bikes for a couple of weeks in November. I've ridden in 49 states. I'm looking forward to getting out to Alaska this summer. Um, I think we've been blessed with a lane of our own, and we hug that lane. We like I said, we don't get involved in stuff that has nothing to do with us. That big boy stuff that's not our lane. And I think our success has been that they just didn't know what to do with us, because we're out there riding motorcycles, which is what motorcycle clubs is all about. Although people asked us a million times, when are you going to have a clubhouse? Well, you don't have a clubhouse because that's where you be every Saturday instead of out fellowshipping, side by side marking miles. So again, we're sparkly. We wear white cuts. We wear pink. When we were trying to pick the colors, I said pink and black because who's going to have a problem in the inside of the set with us wearing pink and black, and by design. So Bling Devas is the acronym. Bling is not about Swarovski crystals, although we have fancy bikes.
Yeah.
We really do. We have fancy bikes, but Bling is about being beautiful inside and out, loyalty, integrity, no effing drama, and the G is for giving back in the community that we ride in. And we use motorcycles to do community work. I mean, if you play golf, go play in golf tournaments to raise money for, whatever it is that you are called to. If you play tennis, whatever it is, we use motorcycles to do big raising events. And our two big categories is food insecurity around our children. We have a big peanut butter drive every year. We work with community outreach for those, and then our veterans. That's who we are, and that's where you'll find us, just out doing it on motorcycles.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Very, very important for people to understand that, to hear that, coming from you. Before I bring some of the other guests up on the deck, I do want to touch on, I'm an advocate for sickle cell trait, a lot of chronic illnesses, a lot of things that you mentioned as well. But, you personally, other than the knee surgery that you're dealing with, you also deal with some health. And I believe that, at some point in our life, we're all going to experience some type of an affliction, some type of a thorn, something that's going to, have our lives, looked at like my health, like of all things, my health. So you experiencing your affliction or your thorn, you want to talk about a little bit about that?
Sure. I say that I have lupus, but lupus doesn't have me.
Yeah.
My friends, people that know me, will say that I make sick look easy, because I just will not allow myself to get treatment fatigue. I use the fact that if I stop focusing on my health, that I'm not going to be able to do the things that I want to do. I have friends that have lupus and autoimmune rheumatoid arthritis, those things that I am plagued with, just chronic pain, and they are wheelchair bound, they're homebound, and you see me out here running, 48 states in 11 days. And I'm scared. I'm afraid all the time that if I let my foot off the gas for 1 minute, people that are not getting their annual checkups, that find out that they're stage 3 breast cancer and they haven't had their mammogram in 10 years.
Right.
My honey found out that he had prostate cancer because he had a motorcycle accident and had a raised PSA blood test in ICU. And, now he's been fighting it. But he didn't get those wellness checks. And I found out because I slipped and fell in black ice. I think God pushed me. But people need to focus on their health and make health a priority, because we're all busy. Everybody's busy, but you cannot be too busy to put your health as a priority. And so I look to be an inspiration for people that are fighting chronic illness and pain and disease. Somebody asked me how I am. How are you doing? I always say I'm great. I'm amazing. Mostly because people don't want to hear you every single time. I feel like shit, my body's crippled up. They don't want to hear that. So I feel great. And it's not that I'm suffering alone, but I think that half of the battle is a positive attitude and a positive outlook. And when you have that type of energy that you put out there, you're just going to feel healthy. You get up in the morning, you take a shower, you put your clothes on, and it might take you a little bit longer, but you just feel better. And it's hard for some people. It's hard for people suffering from depression and anxiety. And the world is so hard right now.
Yeah.
And if you're listening right now and you're struggling, my phone is always open. I'm here to try to talk to you about how you can feel better about yourself. You know, I know you have a great connection like that, but
Yeah. No,
yeah,
thank Yeah, no, I appreciate that because I share with my veteran brothers and sisters when I'm out speaking. I almost put on that jacket of a disabled veteran. Like I was, as soon as I put it on, it was like I had this weight, and I'm like, well, I can't do anything anymore. I can't play basketball. I can't ride my motorcycle no more. And I was literally gonna just start getting rid of everything because I couldn't. I felt like because I'm disabled now, I can't do anything. And I saw this one guy riding his Can-Am Spider with a wheelchair attached to the side of it.
yeah.
And he pulled up, dropped his wheelchair, jumped off, and I was like, wait a minute. I was like, hold on. If he could ride with no legs in a wheelchair, I
Absolutely.
could ride.
Yeah,
And
I got my little walkers right over here. I'm all cutted up front, but I got breakaway sweatpants. And you can't see below. But yeah, there's a Soldiers for Jesus. His name is Wheels, and I've ridden behind Soldiers for Jesus out to Sturgis a few times, and when I watch Wheels out there, he's paraplegic, and he's the same. He's got a Harley trike with a wheelchair thing, and he gets out and he swings his legs over and he pulls his wheelchair out. And I think to myself, man, I'm not complaining about shit.
right, right, no complaint.
Nobody's tired, nothing. Let's help Wheels get something to drink,
Right. But I will say to the listeners, and even for you as family members of people who are dealing with, health complications and chronic illnesses, sometimes when people hear those diagnoses, they digest them and they take those diagnoses on. And that's what really hurts us the most because we start living from that diagnosis.
Yeah.
But our mind is powerful. Your brain, your subconscious mind will look for evidence to prove to you that you're not good enough, that your health is deteriorating. So you've got to have your spirit being, leading your life so that you can combat those thoughts and those emotions. So thank you again for sharing who you are and what you've been up to.
Thank you. Thank you for opening that conversation. I really appreciate you and your platform and allowing me to be on tonight. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. All right. So we got some people in the building. Let me bring up DRock back. All right, man. So I got Blockhead is here. I got SAT. I got NYKON. Nikon is here. Where you want to start, man?
Blockhead.
Blockhead, what's happening?
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Oh man, everything is good. How you be today?
I'm all right. Yourself?
I'm good, man. Thank you for hanging out with us, man.
I appreciate your stage and your platform, brother.
Appreciate you. When DRock reached out to you, man, about a conversation to have with us today, what was the first thing came to mind for you, man?
I was like, first of all, anything for my brother, right? It's very seldom that I can call somebody my brother and really mean it. And then at the same time, I know this man, just like this man knows me. But then on my other side, I was like, I don't do interviews and TV and all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I had mixed emotions, but at the same time, it was like, if it's for the better good of what my brother's talking to me about, then let's get on.
Yeah. All right, DRock, man, I'll let you, which direction you want to start this conversation off with, man.
Nah, man, this your show. I'm here to listen. I just brought out the heavy hitters, man.
All right. I'm giving you a chance. All right. So DRock, man, you've heard, a little bit of Shannon story. You've heard DRock come on at the beginning of the episode, man. In this MC world for you, what even had you be drawn to it to get to where you are today? Did you hear my question? You frozen?
Is it?
You there, Blockhead?
I'm here, brother.
Yeah. So tell me, what had you even get into this MC world, man, for you?
Well, I come from a family where, we would say we was raised by all women, but the men that were there, they did nothing but drive big rig motorcycles. So I was raised around it, from everything from riding on the back of the bike with my grandfather to riding in the sidecar. That was like some of the most amazing things. And then I told him I want to ride. He decided to help me build a mini bike, and that's where it all started.
Oh, the mini bike days. I remember those days.
Yeah, right.
Riding up and
And,
down the street in the mini bike.
yeah. So other than that, just coming from Los Angeles, California, where I seen a lot of the clubs from everywhere. I just always felt like I seen OGs and then other men being men amongst men. It was like a men's club, and that's what it is. The MC is a men's club. And when these men get together, I don't really see a whole bunch of bickering and violence and backstabbing and stuff like that. So as a youngster, I really appreciated that and I liked that. So I was like, okay, that's cool. But life has its twists and turns. I didn't really get a chance to get right into the bike set and riding a bike and all that other different stuff. I ventured off, but eventually came back to it. And I mean, like DRock was saying earlier, it's not the same nowadays. And I really feel like it's not the same nowadays because it's just like at home and at school. I don't really understand what's going on with the youth these days, but it's a lot more disrespect. They have no respect for their elders, first of all, and then they have no respect for authority. So, with those two things being said, if there's no respect for elders or authority, who are you respecting or who are you going to respect? So then when you join a bike club, you come in there with that same energy, and it's like either it's going to be my way or no way. Well, brother, this way has been going way before you was born, so how you going to change it? So that's where a lot of the disruptions is coming from now, I believe.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. And me being an advocate and definitely doing a lot of healing with my own family and my own parents. I'm 55, man, and my daughters are 28 and 32, 33. So I don't know what happened between my age and that 90s generation, man. I don't know if I missed out. Did I miss out on something? I look back and I'm like, the only thing that was really going on was smoking weed and Snoop Dogg and like those kind of things were happening, man. But I don't know what that phase of entitlement came from.
I believe it came from just what you just said, a word itself. Words like entitlement, toxic, emotional damage, all this other different stuff. It's like these kids live off these words. When we was growing up, some of those words weren't even used
at all.
And then everything that we went through as a kid, it's like emotional damage. Do you even know what that is? Okay. Try getting put out the house at 8 o'clock in the morning and told you can't come back in the house until the street lights come on. Exactly. What? I'm hungry. I'm thirsty. Well, you better do what you got out there. I'm like, you kids is just crazy. I don't even understand where it's coming from. Yeah. But to get a hold on it, I really think to get a hold on it, like I was discussing with some of my club brothers the other day, we have to really start from within. Yes. People always say, your house got to be clean first, or make sure your backyard is clean first. And it's okay. So that's where we begin with it. And over at my clubhouse, we have rules and regulations. You can't just operate and move a certain way when you pull up to our clubhouse. And it's like the whole motorcycle set knows that. And we appreciate that and we respect that. And by that, when they pull up to our clubhouse with respect and showing respect, we give all the respect in the world. It's like they at home, So this is why we operate the way we operate to put this out there in the atmosphere. All you clubs should operate like this. Don't let people come to your clubhouse and treat it like it is what it is, or it's the streets. No, it's a clubhouse, and it's supposed to be respected. I mean, our saying is amongst us is when we're at the clubhouse, we're at Granny House. So now take that for what it means. We're at Granny House. All right.
Sure. A lot of respect at Granny's house too. You don't act a fool at Granny's house.
Man, and then another thing, about us, we try to set a stage where we're not just known as a motorcycle club over there. They just a whole bunch of dudes that ride motorcycles and all that. No, our community know us. Our community know us because we help the community. One thing, like DRock said, we do interact with the children. We throw sneaker balls for the children. We throw little picnics and stuff like that for the kids because we want our kids, as far as our family members and our club brothers, to know each other growing up, so they cannot say, "I ain't never met him. I'll never see him." Yeah, y'all been dealing with each other since you guys was young age up to now. We we have this thing where we feed the homeless because where one of the clubhouses is, it's like so much homelessness going on over there. And these people are people that actually grew up in these neighborhoods, went to school in these neighborhoods, and now they homeless and hungry in their own neighborhoods. So I feel like sometimes it's like, okay, so somewhere the parenting, it take a village to raise a child, or the neighborhood itself failed them, or they may have just made the wrong decisions in life. But I don't think of it like that all the time. I think, okay, well, they're still here, they're still around. Let's help these people. So we feed the homeless and everything. It's a lot of times we even buy, like, it's cold right now, bought blankets, all this kind of stuff. It's like, no, we're gonna continue to do for these people as well as we do for ourselves, because these people, they looking at us every day and they seeing us every day, but do they know us? Yes, they do know us. They can walk up on us and walk up to us and talk or have something to say and not get shooed away. Just don't be on no bullshit. Excuse my language.
Yeah, you're good. I appreciate you for sharing that, man. And looking back, I know one of the biggest things for myself that I had to go and rediscover was my own self-love, my own self-esteem, my own self-worth, my own self-value. And a lot of times, if that's outside of you or it's inside of that motorcycle, like I have a whole character that changes when I get on my bike, right? I'm aware, like I like not with an attitude, but my whole senses just change when I put that helmet on. But for some people, that attitude changes too with that when you get on that bike, that helmet. And so I really believe that, the Bible says, love your neighbor with the same measure. Well, first love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and also love your neighbor with the same measure you love yourself. I really had to measure how much I love myself first. And when I told the truth, I didn't love myself a lot, I could say. But then I had this, okay, it says measure it. So then I had to self-examine myself and like, you know what? I do love myself at least 80% of the time, right? So then once I embrace that, then that's all I can give you. I can only give you 80%. I can't give you 100%, but then I can't now expect you to give me 100% of your love either, right? Of whatever that is. And that 20% that I don't love Farron is not back on you. It's still on me to figure out what's wrong. What am I still dealing with that 20%? And for me to work out that 20% to lower it from 20 to 15 to 10. But I can tell you that I do walk around with that 20% as a shield, and you better not speak to that 20% that I don't like about myself. And so I learned that sometimes when we talk to people, we say that we communicate and we say something to someone that they don't love, that they don't like about themselves, a person can become defensive, right? So even sometimes as communication, I have a question that who's responsible for misunderstandings? Is it the person delivering the message or the person receiving the message? And a lot of times people say, either or. But I'll ask you, who do you think is responsible for misunderstandings? Who do you think is responsible?
Personally, I would say the person receiving the message, because to deliver the message, you yourself have to already have talked it over with somebody before, or talked it over with yourself again after talking it over with somebody. So you got the message, and then if you're really with yourself as one, you give the message to yourself first before you start trying to deliver it. So now you went through it, you've measured it, and you own it. Okay, so this is my people. Let me go ahead and give them this game right here. Let me lace them. And the misinterpretation or the ignorance of, oh, you just on that. Nah, brother, it's not that. I'm just trying to give you something good, So I would think that it's the receiver of the message.
And this has no right or wrong answer, but from different perspectives and different perceptions, how I look at it is we're both responsible, because how I deliver it to you, right, and my tone and my choice of words, you may not understand. We may use different words to describe life differently. So if I deliver the message to you, my responsibility to you is to say, what did you hear me say?
Correct.
Right? And you can regurgitate it, look in, and maybe use your words. And then if you give it back to me with what I said, then now we're good. But sometimes, even as the person delivering the message, we might deliver it in a way that that person is already listening to react to us versus listening to the words that we said. And that could lead, and we know what misunderstandings and that do. It destroys families. It destroys friendships, and so the ability for, we say we love to communicate and listen, but do we listen to react? Or we listen from defensive, or am I listening to you from that piece of that self that I don't like about myself, and I'm waiting for you to speak to that, right? And if you do, I'm already defensive, right? And I believe that could be some of our human flaws that we deal with, that carries over not just in our MC world, but just going to the grocery store, just going to shopping center or whatever that is, with our own family members, that there's something there that gets in the way of that communication, man. But I appreciate you. Like I said, there's no wrong answer to that.
It's not. And a lot of the times, just to add a little bit more, I find myself, like my grandfather used to tell me, you have 2 ears and 1 mouth for one reason: to do more listening than you do talking. So when somebody is telling me something, I'll really just be listening, man. And sometimes they like, did you hear what I said? Yeah, bro, I'm just processing it. I feel you. I understand. So that's just me.
Yeah, no doubt. I appreciate that, Blockhead. Thank you. Shannon, anything you want to say to anything Blockhead had shared, or?
I think that when you're talking to somebody, you really you don't know where their brain is, what their background is, what they went through that day, and I don't pull any punches. When I speak to somebody, I try for them not to. I don't use sarcasm as a way of conveying anything. I think that messaging is misunderstood. I can be very candid, but still be kind. But when I'm finished speaking to someone, because I don't use sarcasm and I don't force them to read between the lines, I think that the receiving, as long as it's kind, the person that's receiving it, then the misunderstanding, it comes from just what he said, is that, and what you referred to, is that people are so busy trying to respond to the first two things that someone was speaking about, that they fail to hear the entire message. And I am not a great listener. This is, my daughter's been telling me, like, she's like, you interrupt people, it's not that I'm a one-upper, but you tell me you went to Hawaii, man, I'm excited because I went to Hawaii too. You got a new car? Well, dang, I want a new car, like whatever it is. I cooked pizza. Well, I like pizza. And so listening aggressively, I'm 60. I'm going to be 60 next, in a couple of weeks, and I still haven't learned to listen and receive everything. So, and it's not that it's a blind spot. I know it about myself.
Yeah.
And I'm, my commitment to having a better relationship with my daughter is that I'm going to listen more and focus on this adult conversation with her. And I think it benefits every conversation.
Yeah, it does. It does. Thank you. All right, we got SAT down there. I don't know if you want to come up on the deck. TQ, I see you got TQ in the building. You want to come up, TQ? You coming up? All right, let's go. You're on mute, my guy. What's happening?
There we go. What's going on, everybody?
All right, how you be? Oh, you went back on mute. You went back on mute again.
Oh,
there you go. What's going on?
Oh man, how's it going? Thank y'all for having me on here. I appreciate the invite, everybody.
Yeah, for sure.
Man, my brother's been speaking highly about this podcast for a minute now, so finally decided to catch some time and get on here and listen to everybody on here, speak to a couple people that's on here.
Yeah.
Like the brother that was just talking, Blockhead, he gets a lot of respect from me and my guys that's here in Nevada. Like, he's been straightforward with us. When I brought TG Nevada out to Las Vegas, he didn't sugarcoat nothing with me. It wasn't no bullshit. Like, went to the sit downs and made sure I understood what the expectations of a diamond club coming to an area with a strong presence of diamond clubs,
Yeah.
and what was the expectation of me and my guys coming from the nation, coming in where we're all young in a club that's been around since the mid 60s, to be
Mm.
led by a guy that's young and that's never really been on that side of the world to experience some of the things that those brothers did.
Mm.
So coming here and meeting guys like Blockhead and meeting some of the older guys from Soul Brothers, Sin City, and some of the guys from Dahoo, I was putting actually in retrospect, I was handed a kingdom that if I did the work and listened to the old heads at that sit down, a year later, here we still are, and we still ain't had no problems on the set. Ain't had no run-ins with nobody, ain't stepped on nobody's toes, haven't
Yeah.
butt heads or came to no disagreements to where it's like, oh, all right, they here, so we ain't gonna go here and show love to this club because this club is there.
Right.
The brothers from OC, they've always been open arms with TG in Nevada. They've been respectful and they've always given out that open invite, like, hey, we know our clubs had problems in the past, but this is now. And it's up to you and your guys to determine what y'all gonna do and the name y'all gonna make. He hit a great point with the not wanting to the younger guys coming in and not wanting to pay that respect and listen. I was one of those guys at one point. So when he was saying that, like it really hit home because at one point I was one of those guys in a diamond club, reckless, not caring for authority, not having no respect for, like, I didn't have no respect for a lot of the rules because I didn't understand the rules.
Ah.
So for me, being a young kid from Las Vegas, going straight into the military and going overseas at 18, when I came back, I had a different arrogance about myself.
Right. Right.
And falling into a regular 99 club wasn't my ideal of being in a bike club.
Yeah.
Because I'm not scared of none of y'all. And that was my mentality. Like, that was my mentality. Like, I don't give a damn if I'm a prospect or not. You ain't finna talk to me crazy. You gonna talk to me with some sense, or I'm gonna use these 10 fingers and put them on you. And in retrospect, that was the wrong way of doing things because I'm coming into something that has already been here. This stay club, not mine.
Yeah.
So when I brought the guys to Las Vegas, it was again, I keep bringing up Blockhead because he was one of the first bros to shake my hand and welcome me into that sit there where my higher ups, they went in, did what they had to do. And if I'm not mistaken, it was Sin City and OC that was like, no, y'all not gonna be living here running this. It's gonna be him. It's gonna be him and his guys. So we need him to be able to sit down in these meetings and know how they ran, know how they conducted. He got to speak for himself in this area. Y'all can't speak for him. And that was the biggest thing to me that Sin City and OC did for us as a young diamond club and for me as a young president, because it gave me that sense of respect that these old heads are here and they understand that I'm young, but I'm not new to the game. I'm new to being in that role and in that type of ballpark, but I'm not new to the shit that comes with it.
Yeah.
And that's how, like, I've known my brother DRock for a few years now, and I told him from day one, I'm not doing this unless you come on with me. Because again, like I said, I'm not scared of nobody, but I respect DRock. I respect him to the point to where if he be like, hey, you need to sit down, bro. I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna talk all the BS in the world, but I'm gonna sit down and listen. And that took with time. It took time. Like, even now, I still catch myself where I'm like, man, F all that. This is what it is. This is how it's going. And then I have to sit back and I call DRock. I call other brothers in my nation, and they'll call me and be like, hey, respect the man in that seat now. Respect the man that's doing this role now. Because one day you're going to be in that seat and you're going to want everybody to respect that same, you're going to want that same respect.
Yeah.
And that was a recent lesson that I had to learn from DRock, because things had got out of hand and I was just like, you know what? I know how this is supposed to go, how it's supposed to be. I built it and I'm not going to let it fall.
Right.
But going the way I was going was the wrong way. It was rogue. It was the same bad behavior that Blockhead was talking about.
Yeah.
And DRock is the one that actually made me correct that behavior, because he was like, bro, if I was in that seat, would you show me that disrespect? Nah.
Ooh.
I put my life on the line, my rags on the line every time when that brother speaks. Okay, so why ain't you showing him that same respect? He's not listening to nobody. So what? That's the seat. Respect the seat. You got that.
Yeah.
So it was starting TG here was not an easy thing. It was not an easy thing. The old heads was like, nah, we understand, but no diamond clubs is coming here. We're not having that. We're not doing it. No. Get down with somebody else.
Yeah.
Can't do that.
ATQ.
This is where I belong. So I went to Arizona, and that's where I became a Thunder Guard. And once I became one, as a diamond, I'm from Las Vegas. You can't tell me I can't come to my hometown. But there was a way of doing it, and the way the old heads had it set up when me and my guys came. In 2023, it was just me. I didn't move around with no rags on. I had a plain cut vest for a minute. Then I'm like, you know what? They see my face all the time. They know this face. They may not know the name. All right, I'm finna start wearing my rags and moving around. I moved around amongst only clubs that really dealt with my club. And then I'm like, you know what? Nah, I can't keep doing this. It's 2 years into this and I ain't got nowhere. Ain't nobody messing with it. Ain't nobody dealing with it. I'm finna go on the black set for real with my rags on. I wasn't outside 10 minutes before I got a call from an OC bro and was like, hey, man, y'all setting up shop? What you doing? Nah, I just live here. Oh, well, you know, you either going to have to be a nomad or you got to open a chapter here. You can't be here longer than the XY time with another state rock on. It don't work that way. All right. That same weekend, the nation, I did something I wasn't supposed to do. And that's again with following rules. I had to force the nation hand to come here early. And from that point on, like, again, a great advocate that my chapter specifically has always had is Blockhead. He always sent us information, you know, for the set meetings, whether we show up or not. He sent us invites to their clubhouse where it's just diamond clubs, where it's events. When we out, both clubs make sure they show each other that respect. And that's based off just the interaction and the respect that this man gives. Like when I say we, I mean the bike set as a whole. A lot of people know the respect that OC gets. They know, like you said, when you at their house, you at grandma's house. Don't come over here with that. So I understand that. I get that 100%. Like, it's just, that's how I figure my club is going to survive. Get up under these old heads. It don't necessarily got to be an old head in your nation. Get up under these old heads on a set, period. Because somebody in your nation may not have experienced what you've experienced, but an old head in another nation has been through those exact same things, and he can talk to you on what not to do or what to do so you don't go down a bad road.
Yeah.
Like, even with me being an Army vet, there was a lot of things I struggled with, and DRock was a strong advocate. Bro, you're not by yourself. Regardless of how you feel, what you think about, we brothers, we a family, this is what we do. We pick up each other when we fall. That's why I love being a Thunder Guard so much. Because I was able to find brothers that had similar interests and similar backgrounds to me that helped me as a young man become a man and continue to develop as one. And of course, the Bling D was president. She's known me since I was riding crotch rockets to being a handful. She's been an amazing advocate for bikers, period. Like the stuff that her club do for bikers just in our county and our valley is a big deal.
Yeah.
So I got lucky. You know, I got brothers like DRock. I got Dazzlin over here, you know, Blockheads on here. I've ran into countless of members from Soul Brothers, Sin City. You know, I've had the blessing to be put in an area to where I can blend in, learn, and adapt.
Yeah.
And he made a point. That's why we don't have young guys in my club. Like, I'm the baby in my chapter. If you younger than me, it's questionable because Again, the young guys don't have no respect. They don't care about order. Like, even as a young guy, it was certain people on the bikes that I showed respect to immediately.
Yeah.
These young guys that's coming in now, they don't care who you are, where you come from, what you've done for the city, for the community. If it's not falling in what they believe, I've watched young guys try to fight their presidents, where the whole club should have dragged that little dude down the street and did God knows what to him, and they just standing around looking like, are you serious? You let somebody this young talk to your president?
Yeah.
Let that had been me. Like, somebody young talking to me like that, before I would even say something, DRock would have probably snatched him up. As a young brother, again, I've been snatched up by DRock a couple times. Like, hey, little bro, don't be doing that. So it's all about listening to your higher ups and being respectful.
Hey, TQ, man.
That's really all I got for it. I appreciate y'all bringing me on here and giving me the floor to be able to speak about just my experience of being a biker in a diamond club and having these encounters with the people I've came into contact with.
No, hey, man, thank you. Hey, you know what, DRock, man? I think what
you say? I couldn't hear you.
No, I was saying, you know, I wanted to say thank you for hanging out with us, man. And I was everything that you said made me think about why we
somebody talking. I can't hear him.
Y'all can hear me? Can y'all hear me? Okay, yeah, it might be. Yeah. So, DRock, man, come off of mute, man. What TQ said, man, is to me the reason why we even have started this conversation, right?
Yes.
Is that kind of etiquette of that prospect coming into the club, you know, with that mentality and being able to have that transition. I don't know if
you know one thing, not to cut you off.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
One thing a lot of the older brothers, including myself and my club, we like to tell prospects, patch members, and whoever else, because this is a good saying and it's also a knowledgeable saying. No matter what you are, from a president, a nomad, a VP, a Sergeant Orange, whatever you are, the founder, whatever, you are always a prospect. I'm always prospecting. Why? Because I'm always learning. Why? Because there's always somebody out there with a little bit more knowledge than me. So
Let me come in and talk to everybody and listen.
I don't really care what your title is. I respect you as a person first. You know, you lead your club. I respect that and this, that, and the other. But I know me, and I know what I give to everybody else when I tell them. I'm always a prospect, bro. A lot of people that they know me, but they don't know me.
Yeah.
They just, oh, what's up, Blockhead, man? You know, and I'm like, how you doing, brother? Yeah, man, you know, I heard this was going on, and I knew I had to come talk to you first. Nah, bro. We got to talk to each other. You know, it's never big eyes and little U's. You know, even when I'm talking to my brothers in church, I'm always listening. At the end, I'll say, can I say something real quick? And I'll address almost everything that I've heard or I listened to all at once, because there's no need for me to be interjecting and talking when another man is trying to talk or stumbling over what he's saying to make my point valid. It's all about respect, man. And when everybody learn that and continue to learn that and display it, then everything will be a lot better.
Yeah. It's like you're saying, when you give that patience and that fruit to that person, at some point they're gonna receive it and they're gonna start acting the same way from you, because you're being that calm or patience or whatever that way of being that transitions over to them, that translates over to them. And like you said, sometimes coming into the club like that, as TQ was saying, like, it was like, man, he had a whole nother mentality trying to transition over to this brotherhood that he's looking for, right? But didn't really understand.
Right.
Well, my thing is, like TQ said, we bumped heads plenty of times. Because when I stepped away from my last club, I was done. And he was like, oh, man, come on, DRock. Bro, I got kids damn near your age. Why would I want to follow you? Man, I don't want you to follow me, man. I need your help. bro, I ain't even interested in being a part of no club, no BS, no none of that. Cause I said, where I'm at right now, I'm gonna put hands on somebody that might be you. And he just laughing, man. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, man. I said, you really don't know, man. I'm damn near 50. I'm not out here with that shoot 'em up, bang, bang. I ain't about none of that right now, bro. I just want peace. I don't want to be I just want to be a regular ass member. They had a whole conversation. Next thing you know, we in North Carolina. Oh, well, that's your VP over there. Boy, stop that, man. I'm not about to do this. I'm not about to play with y'all. But on the other hand, like he said, man, like I'm where I am in this here world or this alternate universe because of people like OG Blockhead and Dazzlin. Like I came across some good people. Like they say, in order to be a good leader, you got to first learn how to follow. And
Yes.
like at one point in time, I was that TQ. I was that hot head. When I first came on the set, I was prospecting for deuces. I'm probably the longest prospect in their history. It took me 9 months to get a vest of deuces. And I think probably like after like 2 weeks of having, they had took it back. I'm tripping just like him. Young Marine, man, who tripping? I'm tripping with everybody. I got my cut too. Who gonna take it from me? Man, I came in a meeting, it was about 5 or 6. And, all right, y'all can have it, man. I ain't even tripping like that. But it humbled me though, coming across people who like at the time I didn't understand, but they really had my best interests at heart. And like that made me who I am today. And I enjoy this. Shit, June, it'll be 28 years I've been doing this. I think my daughter on here, my big baby on here.
Is that KK?
Yes.
Okay, let's before I bring KK up, Shannon, outside looking in, listen to these gentlemen share from their perspective. What do you hear? What do you want the women to take away from this conversation?
Well, again, when I came on to the motorcycle set, I didn't know what I couldn't do. It's the same way I lived my life as, my dad's oldest son. I didn't know that there were things that girls couldn't do. And so when I've got girls that have been around the set for 30, 40 years. My one of my founders, Fireball, she's been married 13 times and 10 different outlaws. And she would tell me, you're going to get us hurt. You don't know what we're not safe. And I would say, come on, we're going to do this. And I just surrounded myself with big brothers from diamond clubs. I paid respect forward, and I just was a sponge. I just listened to everything, and I'm a lifetime learner of the MC culture. And so I try not to step on anybody's toes while kicking doors open for women. And the conversations that I have with DRock about, stepping into what your elders are trying to put you in. They see something in you that you can't turn it down. You have to just look in the mirror and say, why do they want me to lead this organization? And we spend some time sometimes on the phone for for hours. And my leadership comes from corporate America. I was blessed that I got to learn a lot about leading people and organizations, and Blockhead, he said it, man, you got to have a prospect heart. You as a P or as somebody that's been around the set for a long time, you should be serving those that are under you, and everyone in your organization deserves a voice. One of the scariest things, people say they're more scared of snakes and less scared of snakes and death than they are speaking out publicly or, being vulnerable enough to speak up. And so as a leader, I have always looked to the quietest one in the room and given them space and asked open-ended questions to give them a voice, because it's always the ones with the big mouths. Everywhere you go, they got something to say. And when you can challenge those in your organization that they got a lot to say, they're just afraid to open their mouth. And when they do, they sometimes have some real nuggets there. And if you are in a leadership position, you cannot lead with your ego and with your pride. I listen to people like Blockhead and some of my Mongol brothers, and that have again allowed me to have a Las Vegas tab. And that was 10 years in the making of paying it forward and not getting involved in stuff that I didn't belong in. Women don't belong there. I respect that it is a men's world while trying to live the lifestyle. Just riding bikes, having a good time. I don't want to say fuck the government, fuck the police, but my life revolves around civil rights.
Yeah.
I work hard. I work for a law firm that we're not afraid to sue the police. If your amendment rights are being violated, that's what I love. That's why I got involved when it was early on in the Save the Patch and motorcycle profiling, and I saw it, and I saw it happen to myself with my associations. I lost my job in corporate America from my associations in the motorcycle club. Pictures of me at events that were sent to Calabasas, California, and then something happened at one of my events where one of my staff members didn't feel safe because there was some shit going on that shouldn't have been going on, and he reached out, and I lost my job. 20 years at the Cheesecake Factory over this lifestyle, and all it did was make me want to sink deeper and fight for anti-profiling and right to modify and splitting, filtering lanes, and all these things with Biker on the Beltway and the Motorcycle Profiling Project and Motorcycle Rights Foundation. All those things is because of what I see in the set, that we really are we just had a big event at the Stratosphere last weekend. And I wasn't able to go because I'm out recovering. I'm getting messages. Hey, they're asking us to take off our cuts. They're making us, they're telling us we have to turn our cuts, wrong side out. And I was like, you ain't rolling up, man. You can roll out. You can drop that tent. And we were the ones selling raffle tickets for the organizer there. And I got Jared Richards. I'm like, hey, what's going on? And they started getting the organizers, and Jared, who is the CEO and founder of Full Throttle, he is a huge biker advocate. And he had the Stratosphere leadership lined up and saying, hey, we're gonna file a breach of contract. These people are been in here for 3 hours. Now you're trying to tell them that cuts and colors are not allowed. And so yes, I'm a female. Yes, I founded an MC. We run our program like those that I have the highest respect for. And I don't put up with any drama, bullshit. You need to know who is who in the MC community that has allowed this. And there are diamond clubs that don't like us. There is one particular club that, I'm glad you have elevated us, that we matter in your world, because that ain't in our circle, but they give us grief. They're always trying to hem my girls up somewhere, mostly in Arizona. But, again, we pay it forward, and I respect these old G's out here on the set.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
We got some comments over here. I just want to show Amy. Amy Smith said hi. She said, just keep moving. We got a biker the host hood podcast says this because he was talking about the comment about the young ones. So yeah, all right, we're gonna bring up KK. KK, you ready to come to the deck? Hello?
She's here.
How are you?
Good.
All right. So, you've been listening to this conversation. Give us some feedback, what you hear, for yourself. You can share.
I'm her mom. She's here giggling at me because she was on and off, so she didn't hear much about it.
Oh, okay.
And she herself hasn't really been around the set like that, so She was looking at me like I don't have much to say. She's here on behalf of her dad, asking her to be here.
Yeah, DRock was like, bring up KK, bring her up. What you want to say, DRock? She here.
Man, I wanted to hear her talk. Why your face ain't on here? You always sending these YouTube videos and all these pictures and stuff. What's up now?
I said, turn that video screen on.
Oh.
She like, not today. Not today. But yeah, I just want to say thank you to everyone who came on this afternoon. Shannon, thank you, for stepping in and sharing just a lot about who you are, just letting the listeners know. I did want to ask you, as a mom of a veteran, right? For most of us who I know I'm just gonna speak for myself. When I joined the military at 19, I joined for career benefits, travel, education, but it wasn't until after I got out of the service, after I went through my transition of dealing with life, anxiety, depression, all that stuff, and I realized that I had given my life to death. Like that, the military promises you that, and for those of us who make it, it's like, okay, then what's next? As a parent to that conversation, what do you want to say to that?
So like I said, my son was the youngest intelligence chief in Marine Corps history. He's done some really amazing things. I had the director of the CIA, Michael Hayden, called me because I hadn't talked to my son for a while, and he just said, "I just want to let you know that your son is a national treasure." And when I heard that, it made me feel really great that here this guy's reaching out to me as a mom. And when he came back, my son had a lot of survivor's guilt, and it affected him in a really, really great way for probably close to a decade. He just wasn't okay. Thanksgiving, he says he went to take a piss and he ended up taking a shit because he was in a porta-john, which ended up kind of protecting him when Scott came into the compound where they were and threw him backwards, and he lost quite a few of his guys. And he came back and he had to tell a pregnant mom that your spouse isn't coming back. And he was raising again, he's the oldest. He saw the violence. He had to witness his mom, me going through stuff that no kid should see their mom going through. And he was just a little kid and he wasn't really able to protect me. And so he had codependency, and he still does, and he just took that to taking care of his troops the best that he could. And when he couldn't, it hit him. And so he got it from his professional life in the military, and then he got it now. And he has 3 boys from 3 different baby mamas, and one, he left her pregnant when he went, and he came back and got mixed up with this real crazy girl and had a baby with her. And now he's like, his life is together and he's raising a son and trying to do what he kind of missed the boat on.
For sure.
And I see him really sinking so much into his youngest son, trying to live with some regret with his other kids. I just try to encourage him and tell him, you might not have it all together. He's going to be 40 a couple days before I turn 60. And I tell him, you have still half your life ahead of you to get it right.
Yeah.
Okay. You just every day, don't worry about looking in the rearview mirror, because that's the past. The same as how we ride motorcycles, right? Look into the horizon, especially if you race, you take your bikes out to the track at all. Your mirrors are taped. That's why I tell them, just tape up those mirrors and focus on the apex up ahead, because that's where your successes are right now.
Yeah.
And I don't, as a mom, none of that. Don't worry about any of that. And you really have to just worry about yourself. He also two-time suicide attempt survivor. You know, God love him. He tried to hang himself in the barracks, and thank God somebody, walked in there and tried again. Just sitting by the train track, somebody saw him, and thank God he's still here. And I don't know if you ever get rid of that, but he's a successful part of our law firm here. And, he's doing great, getting great settlements for people.
That's good.
Money in people's pockets. That always feels good.
Thank you for sharing that. Very important. I just want our listeners, our brothers and sisters here. We're not by ourselves, right? We're not by ourselves, and he's more than welcome to in the near future to chime in with us. We have a lot of fatherhood men conversations, and so he's more than welcome to chime in and
he found a soft place to land in the MC world. You know, he's the national president of a motorcycle club himself, and his first solid relationships that he forged here in Nevada were with motorcycle riders, and then he became a prospect and then worked his way up to being a P and then the national P. Yeah. He loves motorcycling. I'm glad he's got his own now. To ride the shit out of mine.
We got another comment here real quick from Amy Smith. My ex-husband was a detachment commander at Master Sergeant Marine. Yeah. Young soldiers that just need someone to talk to. Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of us who served, again, just with the identity crisis. And I tell people, just because we're veterans and we're less than 2% of the population that ever serve in this country, there's other jobs that are not they're similar. Athletes. I had a basketball identity, right? And so that basketball identity transferred over to the military soldier identity. Then I'm trapped with both of those identities. And when I couldn't exercise and play basketball anymore, I had no stress relief. And so I internalized all of my upsets and frustrations. I was mad at myself for sprinting that day and collapsing and just blaming myself. And I had to go back and self-forgive. That's why I teach reconciliation and self-forgiveness is so important, that we want to forgive other people, or we want our parents to forgive us for how they treated us. But as a child, you can go to your parents. You can acknowledge your parents and say, hey, you know what? Forgive me for how I treated you. And that was my freedom. I got my life back when I went to my parents. But I had to realize that identity, I was trapped in that rank and that camouflage. And then the basketball shoes, and so I had a few layers to peel off. And now I put it in this MC, and it's like, there's all these titles and identities as we were talking about in the beginning. And how do you manage those? If you're fractured, they're going to be expressing that fracture too, right? So, Blockhead, man, I appreciate you for hanging in, man. Anything you want to say before we get out of here, bro?
Man, I appreciate this platform, like I said, and anytime you need me, anytime my brother DRock need me.
All right, we're gonna hold you to that.
Bling Devas, I'm a service, man. The whole is a service, and we appreciate the MC world and everybody that's in it. But at the same time, we want everybody to stay safe and stay dangerous out there in them streets,
Yeah, and again, that's what DRock, when we had this talk a couple of months ago, he was like, man, there's some education, there's just something missing, man. And it's like, how can we deliver a conversation where people can, again, self-examine and realize that, this is a place where we want to come to and be united, even with the different clubs, but there are also levels of respect, and way we treat people that all comes together with that, and he was saying, go ahead.
What I see is becoming more on the forefront is people like myself and DRock are finding others like us in different clubs that are respected, but as well educated to present these things. Sometimes you can go to the person that's the most respected, but it's really no essence there or any kind of education coming from it. It's just he respected because that's the big dog. And then sometimes you can go to the person with all the education And when he get on a podcast like this or something, and he's speaking, or no, let me go back real quick. He wouldn't even be allowed to get on the podcast and speak because he has no respect in the club. It's like, listen, nobody listening to you, nobody paying attention to you, nobody even wants to hear you. So it has to be hand in hand, the respect, the education, the quality of the person, and all that. So it's starting to come to the forefront in a lot of these clubs, but it take brothers like myself, one of my mentors, which is I think he was on here, he just didn't ever come on. Nuts,
yeah, I did see him. Yeah, I saw him earlier.
Right there has the education of Einstein in this motorcycle world. And I'm not talking about just from one state to the next, but I'm talking about through every state, and then there's DRock as well. We reach out, we talk to these people, and I mean, this is what it takes. We the village now. We the village, and we raising everybody that's coming into this world, and we also still raising and educating those that are in this world.
Right. That's beautifully said, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Shannon, before we get out of here, anything?
No, thank you. I appreciate it so much, and I really appreciate being on this panel with these gentlemen that they're legends, and people respect them, and to just be on the panel with some of these old G's out here, I really appreciate that. Thank you for allowing me to take up one of the squares.
Of course.
Thank you so much. Yeah, and I'm here for anyone in the community. We can support you if we can help, with fundraising efforts. I have a lot of resources. And if anything else, I got boots on the ground because I'm on twos all the time. So I can, well, not now.
Not right now.
But soon I'll be back out there on twos.
No doubt. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
all right, man. You good, man? Any last words?
Man, I think we need to put together one of those unity rides like they had during COVID. When Southern Nevada and Southern California met. I think we need to put on an event like that and have speakers from these different clubs. Because one thing that I feel is going to happen, people who ride is going to be there, and people who really care about this culture going to be there to listen to what these here OGs got to say. And it ain't even got to be me. I just want to be a part of the organization or whatever. I ain't got to say nothing. I like on the night. I just want to see it all come together because I'm on my last leg. 28 years. I'm on my last leg. But
let's have for Barstow. Let's do it.
And Dazzlin, and of course you, Farron, man. We've been tackling issues for the last. We going on 13, 14 years.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you, bro. It's being one Army and one Marine, man. And in some worlds they don't hang out with each other, but you and I, we defied those odds, man. I really truly appreciate your knowledge, man. Again, like they're saying, I acknowledge you for the same conversations, bro. That mental health was so important. Such a serious conversation, man. And to find somebody who served and who had the background and the education and was willing to talk about that, I needed that because now I can express myself in that conversation. I can articulate it. I did my own work to be free from those conversations. So you
that you're an author.
I'm not worried about being an author, man. We'll do a book conversation though, for sure. All right. Again, I thank you all for hanging out today. I'm just very appreciative to be able to share this with my military community here and those that watch this episode in the near future. It will be stored on all the streaming podcast platforms as well to watch. And hopefully another episode we can do, bring some more people on, have more conversations, maybe peel off some more layers, dig a little deeper into this next generation of MC, prospects and really, I look at it like maybe not as the same, but like the VFWs and American Legions, if we don't replace young veterans in those organizations, they're going to die off, right? And we don't want our MC to die off either, right? So we've got how do we nurture the next generation of these motorcycle club members, right? With the level of understanding, a level of communication and
by educating the replacement.
Exactly, right? Exactly. That's it right there. Educating the replacements, man. I like that term. We might have to put that on the next episode with you.
I'm with it.
All right. Again, I'm gonna get out of here. I appreciate you all. Again, thanks for the Military Broadcast Radio Network for allowing us to be a part of this platform. And just catch me again Tuesdays at 6 p.m. on KCA Radio, 106.5 FM, 10:50 a.m. out here in the Inland Empire. And then here again Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Pacific time on the Farron Dozier Show, the Military Broadcast Radio Network. Again, there's a QR code right there if you want to support us. They accept donations as well. So I thank y'all for your time.
All right. Good night, everybody.
All right.
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm blessed, my brother.
I'm good, man. I'm good. Hey, did you see the game last night?
Oh, that was a good game.
But did you see the shot?
I lost money from that shot.
Oh, man, that shot was cold,
I
man.
hated it, but it was good. Damn. What's in those jeans?
You really want to know?
I do.
Exhaustion, muscle spasms, asthmatic issues, unexpected sickle cell trait crises.
Damn, are you serious? When I was young, I found out I had sickle cell trait. My mom's told me, but I ain't have no knowledge of it. But when I got older, I had a child, and the doctor told me my daughter has sickle cell trait. Do you know the facts that both parents have sickle cell trait? There's a 50% chance the child may have the trait, and 25% chance the child may have the disease.
Hey, that's what's the count. Do you know that 2.5 million people in the United States have sickle cell trait, 300 million people globally? I didn't find out I had sickle cell trait until I was in the Army 10 years. Next thing you know, I had a sickle cell trait exertion site.
Sickle cell? I thought that was a black gene or something.
Nah, man, the Latin community is number 2. 1 out of 36,000 babies are being born with sickle cell disease. You could be Caucasian, Mediterranean, European. You gotta know your bloodline, man. There is an inherited gene in our community that has been forgotten. The name is sickle cell trait. WDCONSCT, also known as What's the Count, is out to bring awareness, education, and prevention to people all over the globe. Want more information? Call us now at 323-215-5384 or visit www.wdconsct.org. Zetovia salve, made from natural and organic ingredients, good for inflammation, poor circulation, hemorrhoids, yeast infection, lip sores, dry coughs, eye pain, minor cuts and bruises, and ready to purchase at botanicaherbalco.com. BOTANICAHERBALCO.com. botanicaherbalco.com.
Life is like a duck. Tough times don't last, but tough people do. Here at Military Broadcast Radio, we're teaming up with our friends at Die Tired, the veteran-friendly music band spreading strength, resilience, and mental health awareness one shirt at a time.
And check this out. Their brand new shirts feature broadcast beaker right on the breast pocket. A reminder that you can weather the storm, and you're never alone.
Shirts are only $25 and proceeds support giving veterans a voice. MBR's mission to teach veterans how to podcast and videocast. Because when our vets are talking, they're not overthinking. They're not second-guessing. Together, we stop the 22 stigma. Grab your shirt today at mbradio.us and hit the shop. Or go directly to toramerch.printavo.com/merch/dietiredband. That's toramerch.printavo.com/merch/dietiredband.
Suit up, stand strong.
Remember, we're unduckable together.
You're built tougher than the storm.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.